Hello, welcome to Baskets by Jen. Today we're going to make one of my most popular baskets. It's called a door basket. I call it a 604A because I had a smaller basket called 604. But the bottom line is it's made on a 10 by 20 handle frame, purchased at any supplier. It's a little more difficult to make than some because there's only one piece going across the basket. So let me show you how this works. I don't have my spoke weight. I took them all to class, so I'm going to use this as a spoke weight. And I don't use them very often, never use them until recently. But they're available. They make a good extra pair of hands. So here we go. A couple clothespins, my trusty snips, my tool. I love this bent tool, heavy bent tool. Here are the measurements of the materials we're going to be using. We're using 7/8 flat, 7 of them cut at 21 inches long, and I'm weaving with 7/8. So put this aside, lay down my pieces, which I've already cut. The important part of a basket like this is that the first row, here you'll see me bending the basket of the material to find out the center point. I can do that. Finding a ruler was not easy with small children. First thing I do is find the center of one, keep my finger on it, mark it, whatever you like. Then I bring my handle in, handle here. Now the trick is that I want to weave my first row around the outside of the handle to capture all the pieces that first time around. So I always have my inside spoke next to the edge, and then I fill in right here, just fill in between. Now I told you a spoke weight would be nice, and it would, but like I said, I have mine in my school bag. Bend up the spokes, pull these over so they're all the same length. This is important because your basket's going to follow this bent edge. So if it's not a nice sharp bend, you'll have a wonky willy-nilly basket. And those are really hard to work with, wonky and willy-nilly. Now the thing is, I want my first row, hoping this will be long enough, I want to go under, under, under. Go back as far as I can, get a long run before I have to do a corner. I'm gonna push this into place. There we have it. Hold it. And now I'm going to bend this side because I just didn't have enough fingers and arms to hold everything in place. So there we go. Upright. Bend these. Crease them. I break 1 or 2 a year. They'll crease, but not break. The thing that I forgot to mention, because I've taught so many classes I forget sometimes, is the good side, bad side. This material, that is the bad side. That is the good side. So bad side is hairy, and hairy goes up. So you always want hairy to go up. Here we go. We're just gonna handle this thing very, very gently. Come around the corner, do a good job. Don't crack it or crease it, but get it firmly there. Lift up what you want to go behind this. I'm using my other hand, my left hand when I'm not, or my right hand. I never take my hand off this basket base, ever, till the second row. So one hand is always here holding this thing in place. And now I come around, and I could leave this to trim until a little later. As a matter of fact, I may do that. Next row, I have another piece ready. I'm simply going to flop it forward. Gently but firmly flop it forward and weave this side. I had some pieces already cut, so I figured why not use them instead of dragging through a 10-foot piece. Anything you can do to make this simpler, because there's not much holding this thing together, as you can see. And the handles kind of gets in the way of me trying to show it to you. The handle goes out there 1/2 mile, 20 inches to be exact. Come through here, bend, push everything down, and the goal is to keep all your rows as close to the bottom as you can. Now this is going to be a problem till the third row, but after that it'll be fine. Now I'll go in here and snip this thing off when I've got my basket kind of holding together. Well, there we are. Now that one's concealed. And keep weaving under, under, under. It's not going to look good till the third row. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Just keep going. This is where you want to use your best materials. I didn't. I grabbed what I had. But the best materials for the first 2 rows, 3 rows, after that, you could weave with a 2x4. Once you get control of the basket. So you started my row with an over. I'm going to come around and go over that and cut this as far to this side in case there are any adjustments and this needs to be moved a little bit. I want some extra room. So there we have it. And I believe we piled 8 rows on top of here of 7/8. I will look at the pattern and get right back to you. And you can see I wanted to go around this outside for my first row, and you saw how it was a little tougher to get it inside. So that is a rule I work on for all my baskets. The row on the base that is next to the handle allows, as long as it's inside of this, will give me an outside weave. There's one exception. It comes with the between the door basket, which will get explained in that. But for 999 out of 1,000, I do it that way. I'm pulling up. I have my thumb here, pulling up to pack my rows. Now I could do this. I can do this. I don't like to do this. It's not so fun for the fingernails. So go inside here as you turn, give that a nice crease, bend. So I find it much easier just to put my thumb here and pull, and that does the same effect. I find it's much easier on my hands. When I make a lot of these, I very often cut my inside when it's going to be both of them are going to be the same length every time. So if you want to cut back on your the time it takes you, cut your weavers in advance. Do one of each, take it out, measure it. Yeah, I said take it out, measure it. And then you'll have your rows cut exactly. So if you're trying to do 10 baskets, they'll go that much further, faster, because you have cut your materials ahead of time. I didn't on this one because I was cleaning up my room and needed to use up what I had in short lengths. Figured this was the best way to do it. This has been one of my all-time best-selling ever baskets because it will fit between the front door and the storm door. It holds a nice arrangement, dried floral, silk floral, and they'll last forever. Forever. I know some that people have had them for 40 years. I've been at it 43, and they've been using my baskets for 40 years, and then sometimes I find them in Goodwill, repaint them, and sell them again, because they will last a very long time. So I have 2, 4, 6, 7. One more. Now you could do a different pattern. If you wanted, you could have a long one or a short one and some color pieces. You customize this to suit yourself. I paint. I put a primitive finish on all of my baskets, and because of that I don't use color. And because I make so many baskets, see what these all pull down here, because I make so many baskets and I make them commercially, I need to make them quickly to be able to sell wholesale. So I use wide materials, and they appear to be more utilitarian, more like a Native American basket, a working basket. So there we have that. Those rows are all on tight. If this should be a little loose later, you can just push. When they dry, sometimes I loosen up, and you can push at the envelope. Now a piece of 3/8 flat, just one to go under my rim. You know, I cleaned everything up, now I can't find anything. Is that the story at your house? You clean everything up and then you can't find a thing. Oops, I want these rows packed really tight because they are gonna shrink, and I just want them to be tight. So coming in here, I'm using 3/4 of an inch because my rim is gonna be a 5/8 inch flat. And I want to cover it up with a 5/8 inch flat, so I need a 3/8 under the rim. And that will become apparent momentarily. Because these are so skinny, they tend to be a little loose, and you don't want that. So you're only going to bend in the ones that'll bend over, and these are too long. No sense doing all that work for nothing. Bend it over, go inside. You can see this. I am pushing with this thumb here to make an opening in here. See that? See that in there? It's kind of hard to tell where this camera is showing you. But there you are. All the way around, every one that will bend over, bend it over. Crease, make a good strong crease at the top, and then go back and bend it. But you need that crease so that you have a straight line at the top. That's why the bends are important. Now there's one other way to get these in here. I'm gonna cut this up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. The bend is easy. It's making the opening. So you can make an opening with a tool here and bend it, which leaves you with an opening inside to go this way. Or you can take your tool in here, bend it sideways, and make the same opening. Anytime I don't have to use a tool is a good time. My children were little, they'd walk off with my tools, so I learned to use my fingers. So bend it over, push it in, make that opening, and tuck it. And that's called bending the rim. It's a good sized basket, but it's not too thick to fill. So let's look at the rims. Now every pound of material has different grades or thicknesses in it. Nothing we can do to change that. What we can do is use it to our advantage. So I'm using, for a rim, I want something a little stiffer. This isn't too stiff, but the outside one, oh my goodness, I wouldn't want to have to use it for a spoke. But it's gonna make one handy rim. I have my favorite clothespins from a lady and a carpenter, and these things will work on holding anything together. Pins close to the corner, keep your inside rim. Again, feed it into that corner so there are no gaps. And now when you come around, you're gonna overlap about 2 inches, 2 spokes, here and end. Okay, enough of that. How about a piece of this? This is round reed. It's just a filler. I think of it as a trim piece. The carpenter, you want to cover up the edges with a nice trim. So this sits on top, as my dear friend used to call it, the knife edge. Sits here and makes a very nice rim. See that? Pulls in there. Now pin it tight. Again, always tight. It makes lacing so much easier if your rim's already pinned tight. Clothespins are your friend on a rim. Generally 6 will do most size rims. So this is 5/8, and we did that top row with 3/8, and there's why. Because the 5/8 will cover it. Your ends will butt together, your round pieces and your outside will overlap. We don't butt our rims and things like that because they'll push out and look like an A. It's terribly unattractive. Okay, here's some good lacer. This is the place where you want to hoard good materials for lacing and rimming. Because it's going to be dragged through into these holes. You're going to drag them through these spots so many times that if the lacer isn't good, it's going to be a mess. So I'm going inside and I'm going to do basically what we did by tucking those ends. I'm going to tuck this. Nothing's ever going to pull on this, so it doesn't need to be secured too well. It just needs to have a little length to it. And 2 times or not even around this basket will give you enough to lace it. So we're going to go, say 2. There's no sense dragging 20 feet of this through. I want to get in between those rows, and this is where the bent tool, this is a heavy-duty bent tool, does the job. I use that for a lot of things, including packing my rows. It's ideal for that. But for making an opening, often your lacer will make your opening for you if you set this up properly. Go around, squeezing those rims as tight as you can together. So you want to squeeze this. So it's coming across here at an angle. I'm right-handed, so I put my spoke in and I'm going to the right because I'm right-handed. Then when I grab this one, I park it here so I can always find the top side and pull, 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 and use this thumb to push it around. And that gives you a nice tight handle, rim attached to the handle. Going around this tight, right there, no, I'm not gonna get, yeah, I did. Tight, because this will dry and loosen up a little bit. So you really wanna get it as tight as you can while it's damp. And move the things around. I can take this one off now. In here. Oh, actually, I have my lacer upside down, and this is so good you can't even tell. But I'm seeing a little bit of hairy on it. That's the material you want. When you can't tell the good side from the bad side, that's a good piece of material. Nearly there. And if it really was bad and you didn't like it, right here, if you notice that you were hairy about halfway through like I did, and you didn't like it, you can go inside and give it a 1/4 turn or 1/2 turn, and no one will ever notice. I often do that at the rim. So I've flipped it over so I do have the good side up, and where I flipped it over is right there. My goodness, you can hardly see it. And see, all of them are going at the same angle because I'm right-handed and I'm pulling at the same angle. There. So we have those. Now to end this, I put my tool in here, push this end down, take the tool out. Now I've loosened it up a little bit, so I want to push tight. Make sure those are pushed really tight. Trim it off. And you have a basket that'll fit between a front door and a storm door. It's a very nice length, front, back. And if this bows a little bit, I have been known to let it dry with a clothespin on it, and then it will come back out after it's dry. So thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up. Maybe you want to subscribe, write a review. Tell us what you think. We need to know. If we're going to get better, we have to hear from you. Thanks a bunch. Have a great day and happy weaving.